Today we're looking at how much it actually costs to sell your house. Or said a different way, how much do you actually profit when you sell your house? Because you may be thinking, well, the market is insanely hot right now, so how much could I actually net if I end up selling? And given that your home most likely is the largest asset that you'll ever own at one time, we need to understand how to calculate your net proceeds because you may be needing the proceeds of the sale for retirement. You also may be counting on the proceeds to hire a moving truck so you can actually get out of the house. And in many cases, you actually need that money for the down payment on your next home. So if you're not careful and are out there just guesstimating, you can find yourself in a world of hurt because realize a lot of the expenses that you're getting ready to incur as you're selling your house are abnormal expenses, and they truly quickly add up. But before we get into that, I want to welcome you to the Invested Homeowner YouTube channel. My name is Jaime Resendez. I'm a realtor and team leader able to help you make more money in real estate, whether you're buying or selling. Now, before I forget, if you want to follow along as we're going through this worksheet is linked down below. All right, so let's say you have a home that you're going to sell for $500,000. That is what you're asking for. Now, let's also say that you have still about $100,000 left on that loan. So this is something that you will get in your mortgage statements, letting you know how much more you still owe to pay off the loan that you have on the property. Now, when it comes to property taxes, that varies across the board, but we're going to use a standard rate that we can expect here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex because that's where I do a lot of my business. So we're going to say that a property that is valued at $500,000, you're typically going to be assessed a value that will give you about a $12,000 property tax bill every single year. And in this particular scenario, let's assume that you're selling your property July 1st. Meaning that for the first 6 months of that year, you actually were the owner, so you're responsible for those taxes. So that means that you're responsible for months January through June, which it means 6 months. So this means that you have your prorated taxes of $6,000 or what's going to be withheld at the title company because those are your responsibility. Now, if you're selling with a real estate agent, this is something that you can explore with any real estate agent. If you want to get connected with one, then let me know in the comment section down below or just reach out to me directly. But here, we're going to assume that you have a commissioned agent at 6% where the listing agent will receive 3% and any buyer's agent that brings you a buyer will be compensated 3% as well. So 3% for the listing side, 3% for the buying side, the buyer's agent that brings you in a buyer. So that's all negotiable, but we're not going to spend too much time there. I just want to give you what that can look like. Now, there will be some fees associated to the title company that you use. Here in Texas, we are a title state. So we have a title company that we close our transactions with. So attorney prep will generally run you around that. Settlement fee, they'll generally charge you this. And then for county recording fees, you can expect something along these lines. And for the actual title policy itself, for a property of this value, you're looking at around this amount in title policy costs. Now, just note that depending on the title company that you're using, these numbers will vary. Sometimes you'll see these fees be reflected in a different way. Sometimes you'll see additional fees, but for our experience, these are the fees that are most common across the industry, at least here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. All right, so if your home is on an HOA, so if there's a homeowners association, there will be a transfer fee that you'll be asked to pay for the new owner. So we're going to assume they're going to charge you about $250 for that to happen. If you have a survey, don't worry about this cost. But if you do not have a survey, which is essentially a outline of your property and the land that it's on, then that's what the survey is going to show. So if you have the survey, great. This is not a cost that neither your buyer nor you have to incur. But if you don't have a survey, then it's something that you will need to purchase. So just make note that just about everything here is negotiable. So just be aware that if you don't want to pay for it, then you can pass that expense on to your buyers depending on the contract that you sign. Now, your buyers may ask you for a home warranty, and typically that is a year home warranty credit. So a home warranty can run anywhere from $450 to a lot. But for our purposes, a general credit that we see in most contracts, $450 is about right. Now, the repairs. Repairs are something that you can do repairs before you take it out to market, or you might be asked to do some repairs in the negotiation. So we went ahead and added this to our particular calculation because this is a real cost that you incur, given that if you made preparations for you to take the property out to market, well, if you weren't taking the property out to market, chances are you weren't going to make those repairs. So it's an additional cost that going to market brought you. Now, if there are some repairs that you're being asked to make by your buyers, then that's also a repair that you have to incur. So for our purposes today, we're going to say that it takes about $2,000 all in for repairs to happen. Now, moving costs, of course, this is something that you will have to factor in because once you sell, you're not going to be able to stay in the property. So what we're going to say is it's going to cost you about $1,500 to move. Now, it can be super professional by you getting professional movers, or it could be something as simple as you loading up your truck and going about your day. So in this particular example, if you had a house that you sold for $500,000 and all of these items were pretty much identical, this is what you can expect in your net proceeds. Now, what we've just walked through is the exact way to calculate the true cost of selling your house. Now, if you use this net sheet, which is linked down below, you'll get the realistic amount you get to take home after your sale.